Hi, this is Julia Espy here, and I want to tell you I chased down Ted Tillinghast at his beautiful home in California. Where are we? In
Cardiff by the Sea.
Cardiff by the Sea. It is absolutely gorgeous. And I've known Ted for a while, but what I was most impressed with Ted is not your business successes and not the many companies you've built and not how tremendous you are in direct sales and with your wife Sandra, but it really was how you took on being a dad, a stepdad, to a boy who's 13, who was the man of the family, who, he had a pretty established relationship with his mother, and then you come in and the techniques and the life lessons that you learned. I knew that I wanted to get this out to millions of people, for those who are stepping into something similar, and that they can learn from what took you many years to discover. And so I'm so grateful that you've become part of this book and that we can share this with so many parents who are really looking for some strategies and some ideas. And what you share in the book is so heartfelt that I am excited to have you. Thank you so much for being a part of this book, and I'm here to offer it to everybody. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Julie. I was a bachelor all my life until I was about 34, and I met Sandra. And when I married her, she had a son, and so I had a stepson right away. I was a bachelor 10 months earlier, literally 10 months earlier. I was his date, and I'd never been married before, no children, nothing like that. And now I'm married with a child, So I had no idea. I had no book to read. I had nothing, no training on that, just life experiences, which wasn't enough, And so as we're going along here, I realized, I had to be a disciplinarian. I really had to give this man, a boy, some discipline, but I also had to give him some love. And I had to give him a lot of love because I had to earn his respect. But I couldn't just, wait until he loved me before I gave him discipline. So it was an interesting combination there. One instance I want to share is that John was in trouble. I put him on restriction. He couldn't leave the house, because he did something, who knows what, And so I came home and, figured he's in trouble, he's on restriction, he was home, and right away he wants to wrestle because he was all excited. He always loves to wrestle. And I'm thinking, well, I can't wrestle you, you're on restriction. And I thought about that. I'm like, caught myself not understanding the logic of what I said. And what I realized is I was withholding love because he was in trouble. I didn't put on restriction from wrestling. It was okay to wrestle. But my feeling right away was, hey, you're in trouble. We can't be happy. We can't have a relationship together until you're not in trouble. And I was thinking, where is this coming from? And I realized that my father, for me, is a great father. But what I realized, when we were in trouble, he withheld love because I think he felt that was condoning our behavior. And so he would withhold love when we were in trouble. Well, we were in trouble all the time. So he got to withhold love a lot, and I realized I was just about to do the same thing with John. So I let that go right away. I never did it again, and I wrestled, and he tore me apart and bruised me and stuff like that. He's a tough kid. And he loved that. And so I got to love him even though when I was disciplining. There's many things, to share about being a stepfather, and I've shared many things in Julia's book here. And I think they're very valuable, and they would have been valuable for me if I had them ahead of time. But it's interesting because we're not given the tools really or the skills on how to do this. And if I wish I had some people to share with and to really relate to that had the same experience that I was going through. And I had to do it on my own, and a lot of it was trial and error. And one of the biggest lessons I had was I had to love him all the time. I had to give him a lot of love. I had to give him way more love. So if I made mistakes, because I did make mistakes, he would forgive me. And that's what I learned. If I can create a relationship with him, if I had to discipline him, I couldn't rip him off by not disciplining him. And so, but I also had to love him more than I disciplined him, and that was the important thing. And there's many things I share in this book that go along those lines, so you have an idea on not just for a stepson, but even for a son. But for a stepson, you're right in the firing zone right away, and it's a transition. And now it's unbelievable. I mean, I have a relationship with him. I just got done playing tennis with him this morning. He's 27 years old, almost 28 years old. He has 2 children, a beautiful wife. Unbelievable. Best thing I've ever done in my life, and I am so appreciative.